morning and welcome to the last day of half term. Finally, the kids are going back to school, but what that's meant is we've had a really busy week. I've not had the time to be able to research, film, edit, put the videos up that I normally do. So there's not going to be too much this week. But what it has meant is I've had an opportunity just to sit down and sort through some old files, my old hard drive, and just tidy things up. But while I've been doing that, I've found some old clips that I think some of them might be quite interesting to you. In fact, there's one in particular I'd like to share with you that is some questions from somebody who was looking to buy an electric vehicle. So grab yourself a coffee, make yourself comfortable, and let's have a talk about EV newbie questions. Now, this short video was made about 5 or 6 months ago when I went to Milton Keynes with Retro Man Cave, Neil, my brother, and we spoke to Dave. And we ended up at the Milton Keynes Experience Centre where we had a good chat with him, but he was clearly really interested in electric vehicles, and he had a few questions for me which I thought would be interesting just to film because they're the sort of questions that we hear all the time from people that are new to electric vehicles, and they just want some basic answers. To me, the answers seem quite obvious, but because they keep coming up, it's clear these are still the same questions that I had 4 years ago that are coming up now. And I just wanted to share those questions with you, and then perhaps we can have a little discussion after it. So here's Dave at the EV Experience Centre in Milton Keynes. So Dave, Neil's just getting some pictures of your C5 in around the centre, and he's not been here before, so he's having a good explore. But while we're talking, you mentioned that you were quite interested in trying to buy your first EV, and there was a few concerns or questions you had. What sort of things are you thinking about as a new buyer?
Well, I think the two main concerns really are around sort of range. Mm-hmm. I mean, what's the sort of range you're going to get from something like the Renault Zoe?
So the Zoe in particular, there's two different battery sizes. So there's a 22 kilowatt hour one, and there's I think it's a 42 kilowatt hour one. The 22 kilowatt hour one, you're probably looking at around about 80-ish miles, where the 42 kilowatt hour one, you probably realistically, and Renault are quite good. They're one of the few manufacturers that actually tell you the truth about it. So they'll say anything between 120 and about 185 miles. A recent test I had in the weather as it is at the moment in the UK, so sort of single figures. I drove it on all sorts of different roads and got 140 miles from a tank or a full charge of electricity in it. So does that sort of sit in nicely with where you are?
Yeah, I mean, my commute's likely to be 10 miles either way, so that's plenty really. Wouldn't have to charge it
You'd
every
charge
day.
It once a week.
Yeah, great.
Don't have to worry about it if you've got the bigger one, or get the smaller one, save yourself some money. And that is the joy of it. It's the mentality of not having to go to a petrol station every time you need to fill up. Get home at night, you plug it in. When you get up in the morning, it's ready to go. You go to a shopping centre. Like here, you plug it in, when you finish your shopping, it's ready to go. It doesn't inconvenience you.
Yeah, I mean, another concern then, so batteries, how long do they last? I mean, I've heard 7 years is about the amount of time you expect to get out of them.
Different manufacturers give different warranties. I know certainly some manufacturers give 100,000 mile warranties, some others do it on years. But the bottom line is they've been about now being produced in numbers. So the Nissan Leaf about 2012, 2013. Yes, there were some issues initially. There was some poor battery technology, and the way it was looked after in very hot or very cold countries, there were issues. But people keep quoting that. And that's probably why you've heard it from, that these batteries don't last and they wear out before the car. The reality is, actually, there's Teslas that have done hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles. There's a company, a taxi company in Cornwall, who run a fleet of Nissan Leafs. They all have got 200,000 miles on them already, and they're still going fine. My own personal one at 40,000 miles, I plug Leaf Spy in, the battery's at 93%. So if that gives you some confidence to buy it, I look at it as a car that will last longer for me than a petrol or diesel car, because the bodywork, the components around it, I think will break before the battery is unusable. And if you're only doing 20 to 30 miles a day, well, if you buy a car that can do 80 miles on its range, well, as it degrades, you're still not down to 20 miles a day. So you don't have to think that as soon as it gets to 50%, it's useless. It's still okay for you. So these cars will last, and they are designed to last 10 years plus.
Okay, great. I suppose leading on from that, you might have part answered that already, but I'm someone who likes to buy a second-hand car very often. And again, with the battery concern, is it advisable to buy a second-hand electric car? If you got one that was 2 years old, you're still going to have plenty of life in the battery and the other components?
Yeah, as I said, for me, I would probably avoid the very early Nissan Leafs because they did have issues. But anything outside of that, 2 years old, it will still be in warranty, so you wouldn't have anything to worry about. My car's 3.5 years old. I've got no qualms about buying out its PCP at the end of it. I'm more than happy to do that, and it will be a car that I will keep for up to 10 years. No problem whatsoever. So again, if that gives you the confidence that that's what I'm looking at doing, honestly, I wouldn't worry about it.
Brilliant, yeah.
All right, is that kind of put some of the fears to rest?
Put some of my fears to rest, yeah. I mean, I'd say interested as a second car, maybe not for the primary car at the minute. You know, I might go and visit the folks up in Chester, and that's 180 miles. I think that's sort of pushing it a bit in terms of the range.
There are cars that will do it, but you're looking at a brand new one and you are looking at spending quite a bit of money at the moment, where, like you're saying, if you just want a second car, you don't have to spend an awful lot of money to get something that will satisfy your needs. So it's definitely an option for you.
That's great, thanks very much.
No problem. So there you go. You can see they are really those basic questions that newbies to electric vehicles ask all the time. And it's really important that we continue to answer those questions because as silly or as simple as they seem, that's the crux of it. If people understand those basic questions, then they're more likely to go out and buy an electric vehicle. Now, I'm not saying that electric vehicles are right for everyone, and you really do have to look at your own individual circumstances to decide, because it's not just about the batteries that we spoke about there. It's not just about the range. It's about a lot more than that. It's about your budget. It's about your daily living experiences. It's about your family, how many people are going to be in that car. It's no different from choosing a petrol or diesel car. You have to choose the right car for you and your circumstances. And if an electric vehicle isn't right for you at the moment, then don't buy one, because the long short of it is you will hate it, and then you will go out and you'll tell other people how bad they are. It's not that the car's bad, it's just that it isn't the right fit for your life. And we will see going forward that ultimately, when they come down in price and when there's more choice, more options, then there will be a car that suits you. But until then, have a really good think about it. Work out everything you need to do. No different to what I did 4 years ago. We spent probably 2 nights, my wife and I sat down with pen and paper, going through all the options and trying to work out whether it was the correct thing for us to do. Ultimately, we decided it was, and well, we've never looked back. It was the right choice for us. But I have heard other stories, other people that have had different experiences. So if you think, and these for me are the important things, if you think that the budget is correct for you, that the mileage, bear in mind we're talking about mileage that you're going to do every day, because most people can charge it up overnight, or if you can't charge it up at home overnight, have you got somewhere that is easily accessible that you can go and charge it? And not just one place, somewhere a backup, because if that place isn't working, then all of a sudden your car won't work. So make sure there's always 2 places if you don't have a home charger. So if the price is right and the charging infrastructure for you is correct, and then the size of the car, is it right for you and your family? Can you fit everything in you want to fit in it? Then if those questions are yes, absolutely, go and get one. I would always say, test drive them first though. Go and speak to any of the dealers. They should give you at least a 24-hour test drive. Don't go buying an electric vehicle just on a 10-minute drive up and down the dual carriageway outside where the dealer is. You're not going to learn anything. Take it home, plug it in, see how it charges up. Understand that when you plug it in at 6 o'clock at night, the next morning it's full, it's ready for you to go. Go through those processes and make sure they all work for you before you go out your way and spend your hard-earned money on something that might not work. You don't want to get 6 months down the line and just be annoyed by it. So hopefully those questions have answered maybe some of the questions that you had. And if this is nothing new to you, if you know all the answers to these questions, then maybe it will serve to you as it has for me. It's just a gentle reminder that there's a lot of people out there that still don't understand how electric vehicles work. And I see us all as electric vehicle owners as advocates. We should be able to go out and positively describe what they're about, how they work, but not to the point where we force them down people's necks and say, there is no other option, you must go for an electric vehicle. They're not right for everyone. Just keep that in mind. Well, that's it for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Just before I go, I've got one massive thank you to say to one of my patrons, Gary Lawless. Thank you so much for your donation. He's got or donated to a level where I promised that I would thank him on camera. And not only that, he will also get one of these, well, what am I showing you there? One of these mugs. It's on its way to you, Gary. Thank you so much, and thank you to all my patrons. Honestly, without your help, I couldn't continue doing what I'm doing in the way that I'm doing it. So thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you. If you want to have a little look at Patreon, there's a link at the end. Just follow the link and have a look for yourself. But that's it. If you've enjoyed today's video, remember to like and share. And if you're not doing so already, subscribe to the channel. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at EV Opinion. Until next time, you take care. I'll see you soon. All the best.